Is there a song on the album called The Last DJ?
There is a song called The Last DJ. What, are you asking me the questions?
I guess.
You're the narrator?
Am I the narrator? I'm leading the
Oh,
witness.
so you're not going to do it? George is going to...
already started.
George is asking the questions?
Well, George is just already, I guess he's married.
Hi, I'm glad you could be with us. Hi. Good afternoon.
This is my style. I come in and I take over.
Okay. Well, I'm Tom Petty, and this is George Drakoulias, the producer of my and the Heartbreakers' latest album, which is called The Last DJ. And boy, this is one you're going to want to own because it's a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun making it, and now we're going to sit down and have a lot of fun talking about it. It looks back at a time when pop radio was all on one station. The disc jockeys that they played the records were actually personalities, you know, that they were people that you got to know, and some of them you loved and some of them you just hated. They also played a role in selecting what they played, you know, that it wasn't just a playlist, and I think it was a little more interesting. You've had corporations take over radio chains and radio stations, and you have, I don't know, you have like guys that come in and companies that program the station by research, and it's very cold. It's really an odd job to be in a rock and roll band sometimes, you know, and especially when you're 51 and you're still in the same rock and roll band that you were in when you're, you know, 24. Or younger, really. I mean, when I think about it, I played with Mike Campbell and Ben Montaigne since I was 18, 19. We know each other really well, and there's really, I'm in the same band because I've never heard another one that I wanted to join, you know, that I thought was like a better band or something. Stylistically, I mean, it really does sound like any era, you know, could have been, but I really love that one. That's, at the moment, I think that's my favorite one.
Yeah.
Have Love Will Travel. It's unusual to write as much of it as I did on the piano. I almost everything. Writing, it's really a hard thing because sometimes you get so close, but you didn't get there, you know, and so you discard that and you move on. And sometimes it happens really easily. And it's kind of a mystical, magical thing. You don't see many new acts with a continuity to it, you know, like, there's usually not that second hit record, you know, like, so the result of that is, and that's because these acts aren't nurtured in any way by the people that hire them, you know. We were very nurtured along in the beginning and sort of taught the artistry of studio and how it's a very different animal than the stage, how we could hear something in our head and make it happen, you know. But I don't think they get that education much these days. And the result is if you're only going to deal with the latest, newest thing happening, right, then something new's got to be happening all the time. And unfortunately, that has never been the case in pop music, you know. So a lot of drivel is forced on us just because of that fact. You know, they're looking for something new rather than say, well, this act that just had a record out and did really well, maybe it's possible that they might make another one.
Right.
You know, I think that they've even got the audience in a place where they give up on that. They don't expect much, you know.
Here today, gone today.
Yeah,
Don't worry, we'll have somebody else to fill his position, you know, next week. Don't
yeah,
worry.
well, there'll be another one.
All right.
Yeah.
Is that part of what we're trying to do with trying to just make people aware of this? Or not really?
Well, I'm just trying to write a good song. We're pretty hard on ourselves, and we try to make the record we would like to hear. But I mean, as far as keeping your standards up, that's my entire interest in this, is trying to, you know, do something better than I did before, and trying to reach a level of purity in the music that you can only reach. It takes years and years to reach. Let's look at the best song we've got and then try to make everything else that good. And if we can't, we discard it. If you've got a number that's just not getting you off the way everything else is, it probably shouldn't be on there. You know, you struggle against filler. You know,
No killer, no filler.
you don't want filler. And I really think I've been most successful in this record with that. You know, there are 12 cuts that I think every one of them means something. You know, when you made a lot of records, you can look back over them and see when you were at creative peaks.
Right.
There are some that are really special to me, and those usually are the ones that the audience finds really special. Triple what?
Jim, can we take it from the last verse?
Tony?
There's a
Go
good,
back to the opposite.
There's a good serious chorus.
Okay.
to get in.
Bad throughout, do you think?
Like a diamond in the sunlight.
I did a little bit of the arranging myself for the strings. That bit can go too. Na, na, na. And then we brought in John Bryan, who's a well-known arranger. There should be trumpets in there too.
Okay, right now they're just playing, they're just going.
Yeah,
So we'll store those in.
yeah, just chop them up. And I wouldn't do that lead into the second bridge. I think he did a great job on the, I think 4 tracks we used them on. Hey, we're on TV. How about this, man?
Owns electricity. All that, 2248.
To hear him play that music, it spark right to my soul.
As I toured around the country and started noticing that things were being roped off and selected down front, and then you realize they have waitresses and, you know, I don't know what they do for them, you know. But, yeah, I think it's a little annoying that I don't want to wind up playing for the wealthy exclusively.
The price of tickets to go see Johnny.
But I'm not Robin Hood either. The problem is with the audience, you know. If the audience will put up with it, then that's what's going to happen.
So,
So you rehearsing today?
A little bit.
and you may think you control things, but there'll be more just like me who won't give in, will rise again. Can't stop the world from turning. Round and round and round. Hey, Mr. Businessman, be sure to wash your hands.
going to mention it, for sure. Yeah. Why the long hair? What?
Yeah, why do
You guys can't get a haircut?
That was pretty good.
It's a really good group, but I don't know about the hair. I'm not trying to be righteous. I'm just writing characters that are contemporary, I think, you know. And that is certainly a contemporary character in our culture now, is the sold out rock and roll hero, you know, who once stood for everything he isn't now, you know. And that's a recurring character that we get a lot. It plays into the story, I think, that, you know, that some people are born to chase the hurricane, you know, that they don't really have any choice in the situation they wind up in.
Well, I read somewhere that's kind of a loose kind of concept album. Would you like to talk about that?
Yeah, it's a form we're calling the loose concept.
I think it's going to incite a lot of conversation. You know what I mean?
You mean it might be a conversation piece? I still enjoy hearing it, even as much as I lived with it. And that was the case with things like Wildflowers or Damn the Torpedoes or Full Moon Fever. Those are things that I played a lot at home. But after you're gone, you know, all you leave behind is that music. So it's really worth spending a little time and getting it right if you're gonna, those things are like forever, you know. I mean, I made records 25 years ago that I still hear on the radio. I use the music business a bit in the album as, you know, because it's a pretty good metaphor for everything else that's going on in America at the moment, and indeed the world. And it deals a little bit with the celebration of mediocrity in the media and with entertainers and things that we seem to accept in mass but complain about individually, you know.
Right.
So I found that an interesting subject.
When I tell my friends I've just finished a record with Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, like, they're fantastic. I hope they never stop. How much longer do you think the band will go on?
Well, we're booked up through December. Well, my cousin bought an iguana. He got it down in Tijuana. Cost him $100 or so. Why he bought the damn lizard, I'll never know. He bought an iguana down in Tijuana. It made a mess. It's anybody's guess why I bought the damn lizard. I don't know, but I know the iguana got to go. I had some great times in the early days, and I'm still having them. And there have been some tough times, you know, but I'm just glad to still be here, really, and still have the gig, you know.